Hey guys, good morning. I'm sorry. I was trying to find something that I was going to give you guys as a resource, and it took me a little while. I ended up having to buy it. I couldn't just look at it. So, anyway, okay. All right. So, I was trying to brainstorm as to give you like a fast, quick version of how to compare Roosevelt, Taft, and Wilson as progressive presidents. And I couldn't find what I wanted. Anyway, so I ended up finding a chart. I want to talk about it really quick, and then I'm going to post it in Google Classroom for you guys to be able to see. And if you don't remember why this is so important, let me refresh your memory. The part that you have to do on your own for the progressive project packets is part number 5, where you are writing who you think is the best progressive president and why. And because I'm giving you the quick, fast, short version through the Zooms, we're not going as in detail as I would if I was able to go through your notes, which I guess I could, but that would take the full hour. And if you've got other Zooms and stuff to get to, it's not really realistic for me to try and do that. So I strongly encourage you guys to go in Google Classroom under the chapter 15 and look at the Google Slides. And if you have the packet of notes, I encourage you to go and write the extra, because they say reading it, writing it, doing all the things is what helps you to remember stuff easier and better. All right, so I'm going to talk about the bell ringer really quick, and then I'm going to share my screen and show you that comparison chart, and I will put it in Google Classroom for you guys to go back for whenever it is that you do your comparison for your progressive project packet piece. Say that 5 times fast. But let's talk about your bell ringer, and then we'll take care of everything we got to take care of. And then don't forget, Fridays, I take it easy on you guys. At least I think that I do. To where you really just have to make sure you do your bell ringer check-in for attendance purposes. And like I said, that's a check-in piece for me as well. God, there was something else I was going to say. I don't remember. It's gone. Oh, well. All right. Your bell ringer question says, why is it important that conservation efforts were started at the turn of the century? And it's because I always think, I know this is a really old song, but there's a U2 song that, and I don't even know the title of it, but it says, we paved it and we made it a parking lot. And that's kind of what I think of every time when I think about conservation, and the movie WALL-E, right? To where we have to leave Earth because it's nothing but trash and junk. That if we don't start conserving and saving space for wildlife and national forests, that's what we would eventually be left with. So we realized the need for that. We need to conserve. We need to set up national forests, wildlife refuges, etc. Okay. All right. And again, to prevent future generations from having to be totally without, right? Natural resources. Okay. All right, before we get into your unit packet, we are going to finish your unit packet. And before we get into and finish the parts we're doing together with your progressive project packet, I'm going to share my screen so that we can talk about your 3 progressive presidents. And then hopefully you can decide which one you think, where'd it go? Daggone it, I didn't mean to close it. Hold on, let me see if I can get it back. All right, I guess I gotta go open it again. Bear with me. I had it up, and for whatever reason, I don't have it downloaded, PowerPoint downloaded on my computer, and that's why it probably closed on me. So I'm gonna try and show it really quick, and then download it for you guys. Okay, all right, so here it is. I'm gonna move this over. Oh, come on. I don't want to do it right now. Okay, all right. I hope it doesn't close on me. I think it's going to. Is it really not going to let me open this without? Oh my gosh. Hold on. Okay. Maybe it'll keep it up long enough to look at. Okay. All right. So here's your 3 progressive presidents. All right. We're focusing on Roosevelt, Taft, and Wilson. So this just gives you just a few pieces to break down what each president does that is important as a progressive. And again, progressives are about making positive change. Okay. All right. So Roosevelt, for social reforms, he backed labor unions. He is fighting for the common man over big business. He creates the square deal that encompasses his goals while he's president. Meat Inspection Act passes under him. Pure Food and Drug Act passes under him. Also, the creation of the FDA for the economy and business. Again, fighting for the little man. He does extend regulation of railroads, which is going to help farmers specifically. The Hepburn Act strengthens, again, commerce and ends free passes for those big business owners. He's breaking up a lot of trust. He is nicknamed and known as a trust buster. As far as conservation goes, he had 2 million acres that he saves for national forest, mineral reserves, power sites. A lot of the big national parks are set up under his administration. Okay. Now, Taft, who is going to be just a one-term president, most people know Taft in U.S. history, not for the best of reasons. He was our largest U.S. president. And guess what, guys? I have my presidential encyclopedia that I brought home with me, all right, because it's got my fun facts, all right? So Taft is not only a very tall man, but he is a very large man. And of course, history remembers him the most as being the guy that got stuck in the bathtub. And you know, they try everything. They like butter him up and like put lotion on him. They're just trying to like squeeze him and like slide him out, I guess. But when they end up replacing the bathtub in the White House, it's big enough to put in 4 grown men. So anyway, he's a big guy. So anyway, all right, what about Taft? Taft sets up a lot of safety standards for mines and railroads. He does establish an 8-hour workday for employees. He ends up passing and ratifying the 16th and 17th Amendment. 16th Amendment's income tax. 17th Amendment is direct election of senators. He actually breaks up twice the number of trust that Roosevelt does, even though Roosevelt's the one that gets the nickname Trust Buster. He does continue to protect millions of acres of wildlife through conservation efforts. And last but not least, Mr. Woodrow Wilson, he is going to be a 2-term president, and he's the guy that gets us into World War I. He will push through the Underwood Act, which lowers tariffs, and it lowers them for the first time since like Civil War times. So he lowers tariffs. He is responsible for creating the Federal Reserve System, which regulates our banking system, regulates interest rates. He's the one that pushes through the Clayton Antitrust Act, which is a stronger act going after big business. He establishes the Federal Trade Commission. And also the Organic Act, which creates the Bureau for Protecting National Parks and Monuments. And he also has new parks that open up under him. All right, so you've got these 3 guys to choose from. I'm not going to try and sway your opinion one way or the other. I know that this is not a lot of details. It's kind of the quick, short, fast version of these gentlemen and who does what. But I wanted to make sure you had something, especially if you're not going to take the time to go back and look at your Google Slides. Okay. All right. I'm going to stop sharing. I will post that for you to go back and reference at your convenience. But we got to take care of some business and get your packets finished up. And I will send you on your merry way to go to your other Zooms on this fabulous Thursday. Okay. All Alrighty, your progressive chapter 15 unit packet. So we are doing 15-3. If time allots, we'll do the vocab activity together, but it just kind of depends on how fast we can do the other two, and then we'll go from there. Okay. Alrighty, we're on 15-3. If I skip it, that means you skip it too, and we're just going to keep rolling on. Here we go. Let's make it happen. Okay, so number 1 says, what did Roosevelt do at the 1912 Republican National Convention when it became clear that President Taft's delegates controlled the nomination? Roosevelt's like, I'm just creating a new party. And that's what he does. Here's what you write down. Created his own party. He does. He creates his own party. It's nicknamed the Progressive Party, and the bull moose is their mascot, and just means male moose. Bull moose, male moose. Okay. Number 2, what progressive actions did Woodrow Wilson take as governor of New York? He was governor prior to being president. He worked on reforming banks. There's your answer, reforming banks. Okay, let's see. What else do I want to do? All right, go ahead to number 3. What reforms did Roosevelt outline in his 1912 election campaign? Protecting women and children in the workforce. Can't really summarize that much better. Yeah. Protecting women and children in the workforce. All right, again, working on those child labor laws. Okay. I think we were going to start skipping. Nah, let's go ahead and do number 4, and then I'm going to skip around. Number 4 says, what did Roosevelt call his new progressive reform program? He called it New Nationalism. New Nationalism. I think that was actually an answer the other day in your progressive project packet.
Was that number 4?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. New Nationalism. Let's see. Let's go ahead and do number 5. I'm still trying to pick and choose what I want. Number 5. What did Wilson think of monopolies and Roosevelt's approach to him? Thought they should be destroyed. Again, it's kind of a 2-part question. He thought they should be destroyed, and that Roosevelt wasn't doing enough, actually. But yeah, thought they should be destroyed. And you can just put TR. TR didn't do enough. All right. Let's skip down to number 9. Let's skip down to number 9. Number 9 says, how did the new Federal Reserve System affect banks? So 2 things, regulated money supply and interest rates. Regulated money supply and interest rates. Every time I talk about the Federal Reserve, I always think about that movie Mad Money, where it's Queen Latifah and Katie Holmes and Diane Keaton, one of my favorite actresses, where they're working inside a Federal Reserve, and then they show you like how they steal like millions of dollars while they're in there. Really couldn't happen, but anyway, good movie. Okay. All right, let's skip down to, I think I want to skip down to the last couple. I think that's where I want to go. 13, skip down to 13. I think you might find 13 to be interesting, maybe. All right, 13 says, why did the Supreme Court rule the Keaton-Owen Child Labor Act as unconstitutional? They said only states can regulate that. Only states, because, some families might need their kids to work. I guess, but hopefully they're making good decisions about at what age they should work. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, said, here's your answer. States should regulate that. There you go. States should regulate that. All right. All right, let's do 15 and then let's move on. 15 says, what did W.E.B. Du Bois and others believe was essential for bringing about an end to lynching and racial discrimination? If you don't remember what lynching is from our conversation the other week, it is an illegal hanging. It is an illegal public hanging, okay? All right, let's see. They said voting rights. They said voting rights. Because again, we got to get rid of grandfather clause, literacy test, poll taxes, but they said, that's your answer. You're right. Your answer is voting rights. They said voting rights need to come about to where African Americans and other minorities feel like they can voice their opinion and get the leaders in there. Lynching is a federal crime today, and that, of course, is what they will work towards making. But they said voting rights. Voting rights are a big one. Okay. Now, if we have time, we'll come back and do that content vocabulary page together. It's pretty short and quick, but if not, you might end up having to do that as independent practice. Okay. So your progressive project packet, we have done all the questions that I want to do for part 1. I did go through the other day and number them. So if you're not sure if you got all of them, there's 24 questions total. We skipped the first 4. We did questions 5 through 10. I think that's right. We did questions 5 through 10, and then we skipped down and did, I think 12 and 13 were the 2 that we skipped down to do. And then yesterday we did a few more. We skipped down and did 21, 22, and 23. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 12. I think we ended up doing 12, which half. We did half of the questions. So maybe if you count how many answers that you have, you should have 12. So I think that's right. If I'm off, you guys let me know. But I think we ended up answering 12 out of the 24 questions for part 1. Okay, so part 1 is done. We're not doing part 2 with the chart. We skipped that. We finished the crossword yesterday, except for number 17. And I'm not gonna lie, I forgot to look up the question. Okay, so if it irritates you to not have something 100% complete, I'm really, really sorry. And if the question comes to me, I'll give you the answer, but we might have to go on without finishing the crossword puzzle, which means what we have left is looking at your political cartoons on the back. There's one that's on that poem page. So I'm going to talk about the poems really quick. A few of my in-person peeps, we've actually already talked about the poems, but we're going to talk about the poems, finish the political cartoons, and then if we do have a few more minutes, we'll go back and finish that packet completely, and I'll send you on your way for today. All right, so there's the last 2 pages, that have the poems, and then the political cartoon. That's what we're looking at right now. So I love these. I love these poems. If you remember nursery rhymes, maybe you'll remember the ones that are the real ones. Mary had a little lamb, and when she saw it sickened, she shipped it off to Packentown, and now it's labeled chicken. Ew. All right, so the question says, what poem/song, what is it talking about? It's talking about the lack of restrictions during this time period. You know, that if I want to make my own elixir or medicine, I can do it, and I can walk outside and just start selling it and not get in trouble. I don't have to tell you what's in it. You know, I can claim that it is a miracle drug for cancer because, again, during this time period, no restrictions, no nothing. You don't have to have anything labeled. You put what you want on the label. All right. That's how people got really sick, you know? All right. Our second little poem, TR, which is Theodore Roosevelt. TR is spanking a senator. TR is chasing a bear. TR is busting an awful trust and dragging it from its lair. They're calling TR a lot of things, the men in the private cars, but the day coach likes TR, or it likes exciting folks, and the day coach likes TR. So Roosevelt, again, he is the common man's president. They love him. He's fantastic. But look at your questions. Number 2 says, who are the men in the private cars? All right, your answer, big business. Big business. Vanderbilt, Rockefeller, Carnegie, Jay Gould, all these guys that are millionaires and billionaires, they hate TR. And question 3, what is Roosevelt's image? The common man's man. That's what it is. The common man's man. There you go. All right, the last one says, Teddy, come home and blow your horn. The sheep's in the meadow, the cows in the corn. The boy you left to tend the sheep is under the haystack, fast asleep. So I've told you all week that Roosevelt and Taft were actually besties before Taft became president, and then he didn't like some of Roosevelt's guys and started firing people, and Roosevelt got really mad. So that's who this one's talking about. Number 4 says, what's wrong according to this poem? Well, they're saying that Taft, quote, has fallen asleep. Taft's not doing his job as a progressive president. Number 5, who's the boy left to tend the sheep? Yeah, that's who it is. That's Taft. Yeah, so number 5, what's his real identity? President Taft. Again, Gifford Pinnock, who Roosevelt put in charge of the National Forest Service. And FYI, Pinnock actually came to small Asheville, North Carolina to help establish the forest at Biltmore House. So we have some very famous people that have been in our small neck of the woods. But it was Pinnock that got mad at Taft and called him a fathead, and Taft fired him, and Roosevelt didn't like that because that was his friend. So anyway, all right. The last one is a little, what is this, political cartoon? I know it's really hard to read, so I'm just going to like throw you a bone and summarize it. So it's just asking, what does this political cartoon say? That's your question that we have to answer, okay? And this is about Taft and Pinnock. So anyway, it says, when Secretary of the Interior Richard Bollinger reversed some of Roosevelt's conservation policies, progressives, especially Chief U.S. Forester Gifford Pinnock, urged President Taft to discipline Bollinger. Taft, however, backed his Interior Secretary and widened his rift with progressives, and Bollinger eventually resigned to spare Taft further political embarrassment. But it doesn't matter because Pinnock's going to call Taft a fathead. So what is this political cartoon saying? It is simply that Pinnock is calling Taft out. He doesn't think that Taft is a good progressive. So write that down. Pinnock is calling Taft out. He says that Taft is not a good progressive. And if you need to know how to spell it, Pinnock is on there. Pinchot. All right, last but not least, flip to the back. There's 4 questions left, two political cartoons that they go with. So that first one is awesome. This is the definition of the 1912 election right here, people. This is the definition of it. What happens for the 1912 election? We end up having, five. We have 5. We have 5 people that are running for office, okay? So Republican and Democrat, all right? We were always having those two. Roosevelt is going to create his third party with the Progressive Party. That's number 3. Eugene V. Debs and the American Socialist Party. That's another one. And then it is awful. For the life of me, the 5th one is eluding me just because he didn't really get any votes. So I always kind of forget that guy's even there. But anyway, the meat and potatoes comes down to the Republicans, which is your elephant, which are divided by the Progressive Bull Moose Party, which ends up giving it to the Democrats and Wilson on a silver platter. All right, that's what that is saying. Your question says, who's the elephant, moose, and donkey? So it's Taft, TR, and Wilson. That's your answer. Taft, TR, and Wilson. And number 2 says, what's the cartoon saying? It's saying the Republican Party is divided, so the election easily goes to the Democrats. That's what it's saying. All right, and the last one at the very bottom, the question says, what's the image of Wilson in the cartoon? It shows Wilson as giving big business a bath. He's cleaning it up. That's what the image is. Wilson is cleaning up big business. And your last question says, how did the trust feel about him? Well, obviously they don't like him, all right, because big business wants to keep making that money, right? It's all about the Benjamins, right? No? Okay. Anyway, they don't like him. They don't like him. They want to keep making that money. They want to keep being millionaires and billionaires, right? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. All that you have left is to do that last and final component, which is you giving me half a page, 8 to 10 sentences about who's the best progressive president and why. All right. Besides that, we're done with the progressive project packet. Now, I don't think I've done that bad on time. And if you can stay with me, we'll do that last and final page of your unit packets. And then you can be done and you can go ahead and submit all this and be finished. All right. Don't forget that you did have to do your IDs by yourself. All right. You do have to do your IDs. Okay. But if you have time and you can finish it with me, I'm on the very last page of your unit packets. And then I'll make sure you don't have any questions. Today I got to go in and finish grading. I'm not putting 15 stuff on for 6 weeks. I'm stopping with 14, but I got to finish putting that stuff in. Okay. All right. So here's what I've got for you. It says you're just going to put true or false. It says write true or false on the line before each definition. If it's false, then you have to write in the blank what the correct word is. And it's a little hard to see, but the word is bold that you have to say whether that's true or false. Okay. Number 1, social Darwinism is what's in bold. And I know it's just been overly copied and it's not as bold. But social Darwinism is the belief that people are in competition and only the fittest will survive. And that is true. That is social Darwinism. So number 1, we're going to put a T for true, and we don't have to do anything else. Number 2, giving persons the right to vote is known as suffrage. Suffrage is your word that's highlighted. Somebody tell me, is that true or false? The right to vote is suffrage.
False. True.
It's true. Yes. Yes, it is true. Suffrage means to vote, even though it sounds like something horrible, right? It doesn't sound like a good thing, but suffrage means to vote. All right, number 3, an employee may be fired or fired for disobedience or arbitration. Arbitration is the highlighted word. So does arbitration mean fired for disobedience? Luke, how about you throw me a bone and give me the answer? Is it true or false?
False.
That is false. All right, so we've got to do 2 things. Now we're going to put F for false, but now you're going to look down the page to find the correct answer. And your correct answer is in number 5, which is insubordination. So you're going to write insubordination in that blank for number 3. Insubordination. Okay, so obviously you know 5's going to be wrong because we're taking 5's answer. All right, let's do number 4. Number 4 is income tax. That's your underline, that's your bold word. And income tax is a tax based on the net income of a person or business. Gage, true or false? True. Okay. All right. Yes, that is true. So true for number 4. Okay. All right. Number 5. Again, insubordination is the bold. So we know it's wrong already. So you can go ahead and put false, but now we got to figure out what goes in the blank. So what refers to laws banning the manufacture, transportation, and sale of alcoholic beverages? So you're going to look at 6, 7, and 8 to figure out which one is the correct answer. I don't know. Austin, what's the right answer for number 6?
Prohibition.
Yes, prohibition. All right, so prohibition goes in our blank for number 5. And again, prohibition is the ban of alcohol, manufacturing, transportation, and sale and consumption, technically. Okay. All right, number 6, a journalist who uncovers abuses and corruption in society is referred to as a muckraker, and muckraker is your word to underline for this one. So is that true or false, Sarah?
Is it true?
It is true. Yes, it is true for number 6. That is a muckraker. Somebody's who raking up the muck, exposing the bad. All right, number 7, unfair trade is the bold. Well, I think it's unfair trade practices are in bold. Are practices that derive a gain at the expense of the competition. Is that true or false, Jordan?
You broke up. Can you repeat that?
Yeah, no problem. All right, so unfair trade practices are the bold. Unfair trade practices are practices that derive a gain at the expense of the competition. Would that be true or false?
Would it be true?
That is true. All right, so number 7 is true, and we already know that 8 is false because we used prohibition. Excuse me. We used it already in number 5. Excuse me. Okay. So prohibition involves settling a dispute by agreeing to accept the decision of an impartial outsider. Throat's dry. So what answer are we going to replace it with? So we know 8 is false, but what is the correct word to replace it with? Anybody?
Arbitration.
Yes, arbitration, which is in number 3. So thank you, Aiden. Arbitration is your answer. And last but not least, at the very bottom, and it is imperative that we do the one at the very bottom because these are vocab words that are going to be on midterm and a unit test. Very important. It says explain how progressives gave voters more power in the state using I'm sorry, using direct primaries, initiative, referendum, and recall. Okay. And I'm just going to give you an example of each, and then I'm going to let you go because I'm gone past the time that I wanted to. Okay. Direct primaries, voting for a candidate that you want to represent that political party. Initiative means that you, the voter, get to write on the ballot a proposed law. I can't do it. I'm sorry, I'm choking. A referendum is where you, as the voter, get to vote directly on the ballot. And then a recall is removing an elected official from office. Oh, I'm sorry. Whew. Man, okay. It's hot in here. All right. So that's where I'm leaving you. I'm going to let you go. I'm sorry. I ended up taking up more time than I meant to, but no excuses. I helped you finish your unit packet. That's done. Turn it in. And all you have to do is finish up that last piece on your progressive project packet.
Miss Walker,
Yes.
Can you say what you said for initiative again?
Yes, initiative is where you, the voter, can propose a law on the ballot.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. All right. Questions, comments, concerns? If not, I'm going to let you go, and I will not get to see you beautiful people. See, since only one of you will actually look at me. I will see the rest of you next Tuesday because no school Monday, President's Day.
Ms. Walker,
Yes.
what did you say for referendum?
Referendum is a proposed law that you as a voter get to vote directly on.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. All right. Anybody else?
Thank you, Miss Walker.
You're very welcome. Yes. Have a good one.
Yeah, I have a question too, Miss Walker.
Okay.
For the progressive packet on number 3 and 4 for like the political cartoons or whatever, I didn't get those. It was like, what is Roosevelt's image? And I'm pretty sure you said Trust Buster, but I couldn't really hear you.
Yes, that is correct.
Is that what you said?
Yes.
And then, yeah, the one after that, I couldn't hear it either.
She said that it says that Taft is not doing his job as president.
Okay, thank you.
Oh,
You're
okay.
welcome.
Yeah. Sorry about that. All right, good. What else? What other questions?
3 and 4 on the poems.
Oh. Okay. All right. So 3 being what is Roosevelt's image? Is that right?
Oh, hold on. It's yeah.
Okay. So
Is that what he was talking about?
Yes.
Oh, I thought he was talking about the cartoons. I wasn't listening to what you said.
No, it's fine. It's fine. So Trust Buster for number 3. What was the other one?
Oh, it wasn't. Okay, I got it.
Okay.
Yeah, the number 4 is Taft isn't doing his job as president.
Okay. All right. Good deal. What else? Anything else?
No, I'm good now.
I'm good.
Okay. Good deal. Well,
Thank
I forgot to tell everybody else, but happy early Valentine's Day.
Oh, I like your earrings.
Thank you.
Very festive.
Yeah, well, I am from the waist up anyway. It's all pajamas from there on. So,
I understand.
yeah. All righty. Good deal. Hey, Luke, I forgot to tell you the other day, and Carter, you did a great job too. I'm going to make you guys YouTube famous for those music videos.
Oh,
but
my
Please
Lord.
don't.
it,
That was awful. That's
It
the
was
worst
good.
thing. That was so bad.
You guys really did good. I mean, all of you that stayed with me to the end, you killed it. It was great. I'm just going to do like music video projects the rest of the semester.
Oh no.
Oh, Lord.
It was
You can get more of my singing.
it was good. It was good. I mean, come on.
Carter, I made a rap / song. It was great.
Oh, I bet that was great.
It was
It was.
it was good.
Oh, Lord.
All right, I'm gonna let you party people go. Y'all have a good one.
Thank you. Have a good
Bye.
weekend.
You too. Bye guys.